Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Alayna. How's it going today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. It's finally starting to feel like summer here in Texas. For like the last week, it's been stupid cold, and it's like
Really?
I moved away from Chicago for a reason, and now that reason is coming back, so I'm happy. But
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so I know that cold weather, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't miss it at all. So
yeah. Yep, I'm sure Pennsylvania is very similar to Chicago with the lake, not lake effect. I'm sure you probably get a little bit worse with like ocean stuff and all that fun. Yeah, so
yeah, snow.
but yeah, yep. So growing up in Pennsylvania, was your family musical or how'd you kind of get into music?
I don't think like a whole lot of people in my family were actually musical at all. My mom played piano, and she picked up guitar, and I did the same as well. I think the only thing that I had been told was that like one of my relatives was the first person to sing on KDKA radio,
Okay,
but I don't know. But other than that, that's about it. So I just got really interested in music kind of on my own. I started with like classical piano lessons when I was 7,
nice,
and I picked up guitar a little bit later. A youth pastor taught me some guitar chords, and then I've always been interested in singing. So yeah.
gotcha. So was that a lot through the church and then like school programs and stuff, or was it more on your own?
I took private piano lessons.
Hmm.
I really wanted voice lessons, but I wasn't allowed. And then guitar, I kind of taught on my own after someone taught me some chords, and
Yeah,
I looked up stuff online, whatever I could find. And then singing was like I would just try and take choir as much as I could, try to pay attention, try to learn from my teacher, try to learn from other people. So, and
for
I
sure.
also locked myself in my room a lot and sang
For
pop
sure.
music.
I feel that. So basically the foundation was the piano and then you kind of spawned off of that with everything else.
Yeah, yeah,
So
pretty much.
that's cool. That's really cool. During kind of like those early stages, who were you listening to music? Like who like if Spotify was a thing back in the day, who would you have been listening to on Spotify?
Um, I discovered like as a child, I discovered like MTV and
Hmm.
VH1 first. And I normally wasn't allowed to watch it, but I never listened. So I really liked like adult contemporary.
Hmm.
And I loved all the powerful women at the time. Like it was like Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow, Meredith Brooks. I really loved Jewel, and some R&B at that time was
Yeah.
big. And then a little bit later on, I found CMT on
Yeah. Fair.
TV.
Fair. I miss TRL like crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I wish it
Yes.
was I miss MTV from like the mid to late 90s until like 2003, I guess is kind of when it died off or wasn't as popular as it should have been. But, you know,
Yeah.
those are some good years. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. A lot of
um,
great stuff. A lot of great
right.
music.
Right. But like you, I wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of that stuff. So it was like whenever I went over to my buddy's dad's place, it was like, okay, Friday night we're watching TRL, and then it'd always be like the late night rerun of it. So like TRL had already like actually ran, and then you'd watch the rerun later at night, and we'd be like, okay, who's gonna win or who's gonna be the number one slot? And it's like
Yeah.
I can't name a single band that I think just released music, so I don't know, you know. So yeah. But no,
Oh.
that's so funny. Oh, and then when did you kind of make the transition out of the more like standard upbringing as far as like classical piano lessons, choir, stuff like that? When did you kind of pursuing your own music?
So I guess I just started classical piano in my lessons because that was kind of, I guess, the thing to do and what they told me to do. So I did it.
Fair.
And I mean, really, like the entire time, I just wanted to like, write and play pop music or whatever it was. And um, like a couple years into my piano lessons, just was experimenting one day and I realized I could like sing and play the piano at the same time. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And so I just started like writing, like journaling, writing poems to myself, and exploring writing that way.
Mm,
And then it wasn't until like years later that I really started like getting into that.
nice. Was there like a specific moment that you realized like, oh dang, I've always been a writer. I need to do something with this, or you realized that you had a bunch of stuff that was sitting there?
I guess I was like in my late teens. I had written a song when I was like 12. But it was just like me singing like a cappella and I didn't realize like I guess I didn't realize like what I was doing. Like I was just like, "Oh, damn, like I actually like wrote a song." Like I can do that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it wasn't until like later um like I said in my late teens that I really started like exploring that.
Gotcha. Do you remember that like first song, or is it just
Yeah.
like so far gone that it's like, nah, we're
When
good?
I was 12.
Yeah, when you were 12.
Yeah, it was called Can You See Her?
Nice.
It was really
That,
depressing actually.
oh, I mean, in my head, it's like that could go many different ways. Like it could be a really
Yes.
cool, upbeat, uplifting song, or it could be a very dark, depressing song. And yeah, that sounds like a cool concept.
That's the cool thing about titles is like you can come up with a title and sometimes it's just like you can take it like a million different ways and it
Hmm.
depends on like who you're writing with or something and they can be like, oh, we could do this or we could do this with the title. We can go this direction.
Hmm.
So it's always really fun, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure. And so what? So this was all while you were still in Pennsylvania. When did you kind of move up and move to Nashville?
Um, I moved to Nashville in my early 20s. I basically came here like by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anybody in the industry. I didn't know where to go. I literally knew nothing.
Hmm.
I didn't know where to play. I had no clue. I literally just like moved here.
Okay.
And
Hey.
my now husband, he's from Pennsylvania as well. We're from the same town. He moved 2 months later, with me. So
Nice.
I
I,
was thanking God that day.
I I applaud you for just up and moving with the dream of going to Nashville, but not really knowing like that the nerves of like, okay, this is where I want to be, this is where I need to be, but I really don't know what I need to be doing when I get there. And just being able to kind of take all that uncertainty and be like, nope, this is where I'm going, and just kind of turning it into something is absolutely amazing. So
Thanks. It was pretty risky.
yeah, I bet. But even back then, because that was like in the 2010s, right? If like I remember something about like
Maybe, yeah.
2000, something
Yeah.
in that ballpark. I was looking through your Spotify bio, and I was like, okay, trying to put this all together and recall some of this information that I was reading.
Yeah.
Um, but even back then, like Nashville has grown. So I first went to Nashville in 2018, and I went back couple months ago, and in the 5 year or 6 years in between those two visits, it's like I don't recognize Nashville. Now I'd been there a couple of times in between, but just the how quickly that city grows is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I really I can tell like it's a very different place now than it was when I first moved here. It's
Hmm.
really crazy.
Yeah,
It's insane.
yeah. I
There's
I
so many
imagine.
people here.
I imagine. It's so
But
funny. So how's Nashville kind of changed you as a musician? Like, have obviously you were still really young when you moved there, but what have you kind of learned since you moved to Nashville?
oh my gosh, I've learned so much. I've learned about songwriting. I've learned about performing. I've learned my instrument more. I mean, just being around people that are better than me, for sure. Like I just love. I like to watch. I like to go watch other people perform. Actually, I think we're going out tonight to see
Nice.
some people, but it's just like the talent here is like so insane. There are
Nice.
so many talented people here. It's crazy. And, you don't hear everyone on the radio or anything
Mm,
like that. But it's like, I'm telling you, like, there's some really crazy talented people here.
yeah. I remember this one conversation I had because you just kind of really nonchalantly brought up about how the musicians in Nashville, or there's some musicians in Nashville that are so much better than you. And it reminded me of this quote that I heard of, if you're the best musician in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
If you're like the smartest person in the room.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I just remember hearing that, and it changed my entire perspective on things.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
I will never be the smartest person in the room. I can tell
mm,
you that.
right,
I'll
right,
never be the smartest person. I will never be the best musician in the room. Like that's just the fact. And I've
yeah,
accepted that. And that's great, honestly, like, because I can always learn, we can always learn stuff. So that's
yeah,
what keeps us growing and, moving forward in life, I guess.
yeah. I agree, absolutely. So, where's
Yeah.
your spot in Nashville? Where's your like go to bar venue hangout?
I guess right now it's the local. I
Okay,
really like the local. It's a very popular spot. I also like Live Oak. That's a good one too.
nice.
I think there's a lot of really amazing upcoming writers that play at those two venues. I mean, there's a lot of great people everywhere
Mm-hmm.
too, but I think right now, like those are my favorites, and those are ones that are pretty popular right now.
Yeah, I see a lot of people playing at the local, and that seems to be like a benchmark for a lot of young up and coming musicians. Is if they can get on at the local, that's like the next step for them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And there's a
I
lot of great writers nights too. I mean, I really feel like you should try to do like a lot of different stuff because
mhm,
there's people everywhere. Oh my God. There's so
right,
many writers that play.
right.
Oh my gosh.
It's I went there. I was there for CMA Fest, so I was there beginning of June, and just walking like from the walk from my car to get to the media lounge where I was doing like interviews and stuff, people that were just attending CMA Fest were some of the best musicians like some of the best musicians I've ever seen. And it's like, why aren't you like up there performing? Like,
Uh,
why are you in the crowd? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And then it's just like, it's so crazy how Nashville kind of works. So,
yeah, it's just like it's really competitive because there's
mm,
so many people here and there's
mm,
so many artists and so many songwriters that I feel like even more now than when I first moved, you gotta really fight for a spot to play.
mhm.
I mean, there's like I'm at the local. There's a show called The Freak Show,
Yeah.
and they're every week. It's twice a week. There are like a long list of writers, and every week it's different.
Mhm.
And I don't know, there's like so many people, and you just really got to fight. You got to show up, and you got to introduce yourself, and you got to be present, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, I feel like that's almost everything this day and age is
Yeah.
it's like there's so much competition everywhere.
Yeah.
You've really got to get yourself out there. So,
Yeah.
um, so let's talk about your new single here for a little bit. You just dropped a single about a month ago or a little over a month
Yeah.
ago, uh, uh called "I Miss Smoking."
Yes.
What's kind of the story behind this song?
I like had this idea. I had the title and I brought it to a couple friends of mine. They're songwriters. Their names are Brad McKinney and Jake Arthur. And they are fabulously talented writers. And this was actually the first song that the three of us wrote together.
Nice.
And I really liked it. I really liked the feel of it. I liked how it came out. And so I went to the studio with it and recorded it. And it was my first time also working with Andrew King, who produced the track. So yeah, I really had fun with that one. I like it a lot.
Nice. That's cool. It's a really cool tune. Like I listened to it. I mean, we've been talking here for a little bit and trying to figure out when to do this. And then last night it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, hey, you want to do like 3 o'clock tomorrow? And I was just like, come home early from work and we'll make it work.
You came home from work to do this?
Well, I'm working remotely, to
Oh,
be
okay,
fair.
okay.
Cut that. Tom, remind yourself, cut that. No, I'm just kidding. I am working remotely for real though.
You're working.
So uh yeah, but I was listening to it coming home from work yesterday. I listened to going to work. I've listened to it a few times and it's a really cool song. I enjoy it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for listening to it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I try and listen to at least the most recent songs. I can't guarantee I
Yeah.
listen to everything because some musicians I have on, they got catalogs so deep, it's like it take me 3 days to go through the catalog. So, um,
Yeah. I mean, my Instagram timeline is like a lot of it, well, most of it really is like all the artists, around here. And oh my Lord, I mean, there's always, someone's always posting an original song or
yeah,
releasing a single. And it's like, it gets a little overwhelming because I want to listen to everybody and be supportive and show
yeah,
up to everyone's show. And it's like a lot,
oh yeah,
you
I,
can get lost in other people's music and like
mhm.
lose focus on what you're doing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've had to like start actively like reaching out to people. I've started this new thing now where I'll reach out to three people we've had on the podcast prior. Like every day I reach out to three people just to A, keep them in my timeline and B, to kind of keep in contact with them because like you, I have so many like posts of, hey, new song, new this, new that, or new
Yeah.
show, or like whatever. And it's like, there's no way I can keep up with any of this.
Yeah.
And so I just go through and I'll be like, oh, I haven't talked to him in a while. Hey man, how's it go? And just kind of strike up a conversation. If they answer, cool. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've
Well,
had
thanks
to
for reaching
start.
out to me. I appreciate it. This is really fun.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I'm really enjoying this conversation. So I miss smoking. That you released that about a little over a month ago. Um, what's the response been?
I think it's been good. I've had people like compliment me, and I've had people say they dig. Oh, there's my cat back there. But I think it's been good.
Nice.
Yeah, got it
That's
added to a bunch of playlists, and so that's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
So how from like when you started writing, because you said you wrote it with a few different people, how long from the idea to like releasing it, how long had you kind of been working on it or sitting on it or however you want to word it?
This song in particular.
Yeah, this song in particular.
Oh man, I can't even remember. I mean, I think we wrote the song last year
Mhm.
sometime. I'm gonna say maybe like last summer or
Okay,
fall-ish.
gotcha. That's fair.
So
And
yeah,
the
it's
only reason I ask is because I like kind of seeing the timeline of how musicians kind of work on music and just kind of go through the process because obviously writing a song and finishing like the actual writing of it is one thing, but then some musicians will just kind of sit on it and perform it for a while to kind of figure out A, is this song as good as it can be, or B, does it need to mature a little bit? So I'm always kind of curious how musicians take that approach.
yeah, yeah. I totally know what you mean by that because
Yeah.
like sometimes you got to rewrite stuff. You
Mhm.
get feedback and you're like, oh dang, I should probably look at this again. And you might change your mind. You might think like I've done that. You think you want to put a song out there and then you're like, you know what, actually no.
Yep.
But I think for every song is, I don't know, different for me, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I
But
got you. That's fair enough. So I Miss Smoking's out now. Anybody that's listening, we'll have the Spotify link in the description below after the podcast. Go give it a listen, follow, share, all that fun stuff. What's kind of the plans now as we approach August? Like, holy cow, it's almost
I know.
August already. What's kind of the plans for the rest of the summer heading into the fall here?
I have been doing like monthly cover videos.
Yes.
And that's been really, really fun. Like I've been kind of having them like professionally filmed, which is
Hmm.
really, really nice. I have a friend that I work with and he's great. And so I have a couple new videos coming. I'm really excited. I've started posting clips for my next one. And I got one coming in August, one coming in September.
Nice.
And so, yeah, and I'm playing like periodically here and there. I'm playing three times this weekend, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm excited. I'm playing at the Green Light Bar.
Mhm.
Thursday, it's Fridays are the local, and then Saturday I'm doing my third show at Loretta Lynn's Ranch.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
I'm excited about that. I don't have any third one this year. But that's been really, really fun. I've really had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. Nice. That's
uh,
cool. That's really cool. It seems like you're staying busy. Is that kind of your the amount like the comfortable amount of times you like to play during the week is about three, or do you usually play more?
lately, that's actually quite a bit for me.
Okay.
I've kind of been like slowing down a lot. Like when I first moved to town, I overbooked myself. Like I was playing probably like 4 nights a week, maybe five at like
Hmm.
writers rounds and stuff, and I did way too much. So right now I'm kind of just trying to take it a little easy.
Hmm.
I'm just going out and just kind of trying to network more and talk to people, support other people.
Hmm.
Um, but if I, see the right, place, I feel comfortable,
Hmm.
approaching someone to play there, I will,
Yeah, that's cool.
but
And I think that's something that a lot of musicians kind of overlook is going out and supporting other musicians could have just as much benefit on your career as going to play a show because
yes.
you kind of get to be the other side of things. And while you're playing, obviously you're not able to like really interact with people. Like, I mean, on stage you can do like slight interactions and whatnot. But when you're in the crowd and it's like, oh, hey, you do music, and then you can kind of have that real conversation. So I think that's a lot of times people overlook like the benefit of going to shows, especially when they're musicians or creatives or in the industry in general. Like there's so much benefit to it.
Yeah, and I just honestly like to go and hear what people are writing, like their new
Mhm.
songs, even, my friends and people I don't know. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I love that new song they wrote. Who did they write that with? Like that's
Yeah.
really great. That inspires me. Like that gives me an idea. Not that I'm taking it, but it's like,
Yeah.
might lead to something else. But the thing with that is though, here's a kicker though, is like when
Okay.
I first moved to town, it was like I feel like people like because there wasn't as many people. I mean, there was still a lot of
Yeah.
people, but not like it is now. But people were like more like quieter
Hmm.
then, like in the audience, listening to each other more. And now it's like everywhere you go, it's loud. Like
Yeah.
people are talking. And it's a hard thing because like you got to be talking to people. So you're making connections, and saying
Hmm.
hello. Like, I don't want to just like see someone I know and just ignore them, but at the
Hmm.
same time, it's like I also want to like be respectful to the person on
Yeah.
stage. Because if I'm on stage, I want people to listen to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah. And I mean,
so I
I
try to
guess,
like kind of have a balance with that.
oh yeah, for sure. And I guess it depends on what kind of venue it is, because if you're
Yeah.
there and it's like a listening room type environment, obviously you're not going to be chatting it up with the guy behind you or the girl to over here. Like that's not the vibe. But if it's a bar, like I don't know, like I have a mixed kind of bag on this because it's like
Yeah.
I'm like you, like when I go, I like to listen to the music. But if I'm like at a restaurant or something and somebody's playing, it's kind of hard to find that balance because I don't know why restaurants book musicians half the time other than to just kind of be ambient noise in the background. But
Yeah.
like that's just kind of a hard position to be in. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
so, uh, so who have you been getting into recently? Who have you been listening to over the like over the summer? I guess would probably be the best way to.
Oh man. Um, Jeez. I kind of just that's such a great question. I kind of just like listen to I don't know
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah. I
I keep
got
my eyes open. Like anyone, like my friends, when they release a song, I
you. Hmm.
listen to it. I'm like, oh, that's a great song, or like who did production, whatever. I
Yep.
loved how whatever, how they delivered that, or like famous, Lainey Wilson. I listen to her new song, or Post Malone, whatever, he's doing in country music now, and like, pop, if someone
Mm.
drops a new song. I don't know. I don't know if I'm listening to like full albums right now, to be
I will
honest with you.
I will say Eminem's new album has been
Oh,
occupying a lot of my time right now.
Oh
Eh,
my God. I love Eminem. Like when
yeah.
he first came out, I was like so blown away. Like he's amazingly talented. Like
Hmm.
I think he's one of the best rappers of all time, but like
Yeah.
he's so good.
Yeah.
But I did hear the Houdini song. I didn't love it. It was pretty good to me. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
real Slim Shady or
Yeah.
anything, but I
I'd say
haven't heard the rest of the album. So,
so he did a like a remix or a cover. I don't know what they call it of Save Me by Jelly Roll.
oh, really?
So kind of like what he did with Stan with Dido, he did the same thing with
Oh, yeah.
Save Me by
Yeah.
Jelly Roll. And every time that song comes on, it just hits, like it just hurts right here because
Oh,
he
wow.
goes into like his drug issues and all that stuff, and it's like, man,
Nice. I'll
that
have to
song
check that
hurts.
out. I
Yeah,
didn't realize that. Thank you.
it's called Somebody Save Me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Save it. Yeah.
uh it's a really good song, and the fact that him and Jelly Roll got together, it's like Jelly Roll is probably one of my favorite country artists right now, and it's like,
Yeah. Same.
dang,
Yeah.
so it's crazy. There's so much good music out right now, and then all the independent stuff. Like, I just keep like I feel bad because I have friends that reach out to me like, "Hey, I got a new song," but I'm still listening to their song from 2022 because I love it so much. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
I've got other music, and it's like, I know, but I like this
I mean,
song.
if there's a song that you really like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I go to the gym, when I go on the treadmill, like I kind of listen to, and this is bad maybe, but like I listen to the same songs like over and over again.
Yeah,
Like I listen to like Living on a Prayer.
that's funny.
Because that always gets me really pumped up when I'm on the treadmill. I'm like, whoa,
Nice. Yeah, that's
it's
really
really fun.
that's nice. That's funny.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I'm in the same boat where it's like my playlist, like I've just recently now started like airing out my playlist a little bit, but for the most
nice.
for the most part, it's been about the same for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
But
like,
yeah, I'm always
oh,
looking for new stuff. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
so you got your shows coming up this weekend. Seems like you're gonna have a busy time. Like, what's a typical show in Nashville? Are you doing like 3 4 hour gigs, or is it like a standard 1 2 hour deal?
I'm not really doing like long gigs right
Hmm.
now. I don't really personally prefer to do the long gigs. I know people that do. I know people that play downtown on Broadway and they make their living doing that, and that's great. It's not really for me. I mostly do like writers' rounds because that's where I meet the other people doing original music, the other artists, the songwriters. And but the gig I've been having at Loretta Lynn's Ranch, that's been like it's been nice. It's just been like an hour,
Hmm.
mostly covers. So that's been fun though. I feel like after COVID, like there have not been as many opportunities, it seems like, in Nashville for like solo sets. Like I used to play a lot more sets, like 30 minutes to an hour kind of thing. And a lot of them I feel like have disappeared. Like I can't really find too many of those anymore.
Fair, fair.
But
You
yeah.
you'd mentioned earlier that you do like YouTube cover songs on YouTube and stuff. What's like the most obscure song you've done on YouTube or you'd like to do?
The most obscure
Do you have
song.
any like deep B-side cuts from somebody or?
Oh, probably. Oh my gosh. Like I used to be way more consistent. I used to post YouTube videos like every single week, Thursdays at 4 o'clock Central.
Mhm.
And I did all the like fresh new songs that cover those.
Mm.
But like I don't know. I've done Fields of I like a few months ago I did Fields of Gold by Sting, but I don't really find that obscure.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That was like, but it was like from years ago.
Yeah,
It's a great
I get.
song.
Yeah, for sure. It's
But
because that's the one thing like I love kind of going in and watching some of these artistic or artists do like the acoustic covers on YouTube. It's actually on Saturday night when I've had a few too many, I'll just kind of go through these like rabbit holes of watching like acoustic performances.
yeah,
Um, and so it's really cool to kind of see some musicians bring out songs that I haven't heard in forever. And it's like, oh, I need to go add that song to my playlist. Let's freshen up this playlist a little bit. And then B, also kind of get to hear their interpretation of the song, which is really cool. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, for sure.
nice. Um, but no, that's cool that you do that. I'm gonna have to dive a little bit deeper into that and kind of see some of the stuff you've got out there. So
Oh man, that's so you're good. There's like so many up there.
okay. Um, so if anybody wants to check out your music or attend a show or any of that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
If you want to see a show, most likely I'm going to be in Nashville. I haven't really played outside of Tennessee too recently. And then I am on Spotify. There's a few Alaynas out there, but I'm the country one, and you spell it Alayna.
Mhm.
And on TikTok, I'm Alayna924. September 24th is my birthday. That's why it's 924.
I was
And
gonna
then
ask if
go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna ask, is that the area code from where you grew up? But
Yeah,
nine.
it's actually the area code from where I grew up is like 724 actually.
Okay, nice,
It was close. It was
not too
close.
far.
But
Nice,
TikTok, Instagram, and X, I guess, is Alayna924. And then Alayna on Facebook and probably Alayna924 on YouTube too, I think.
awesome, awesome.
So
Well,
yeah.
we'll have all that in the description below, along with the single that I Miss Smoking. As we kind of wrap this up, it'll be in the description, and y'all can go check that stuff out. It's absolutely amazing. She's got some really cool songs. I Miss Smoking being one of them, and yeah, so excited to see where you kind of go from here and hear more music. And next time I'm in Nashville, hopefully I'll catch one of your shows. And yeah,
Nice. Thank
so
you so much. Thank you so
yeah.
much for having me. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.